Thanks again for joining, everybody. This is Danny Zavala, your host on the Rec Center podcast, bringing you amazing individuals doing amazing things within health and wellness. Today, we got a special guest. I happen to know this individual. I work with her. I've seen her on campus. She is a college athlete, a student, and one of my employees at the Student Recreation Center. We have Maddawg, AKA, actually I said that backwards. It's Maddie Foster, AKA Maddawg. Maddie, how you doing? Where you at these days?
I'm doing great, Danny. Thanks for having me. It's been weird. In this time we're in, it's been weird, but
good. Glad you're staying safe. And where are you visiting from?
I'm in Vernal, Utah. It's about 3 hours east of Salt Lake. It's where I've lived and grown up my whole life, and yeah, I love it.
Awesome. Well, happy to have you, Maddie. We're gonna throw a small curveball in today's interview. We're gonna do 10 icebreaker questions that are sponsored by Wenatchee Valley College's Student Recreation Center. How's that sound to you? You up for that?
Sounds great.
All right, we're gonna have some fun. All right. So, question number 1: what color socks are you wearing?
Black.
What's your favorite color?
Pink.
If you could be any animal in the world, what would it be?
A dolphin, for sure.
A dolphin. I love that. Favorite fruit?
Watermelon.
A walnut. Okay. Favorite vegetable?
Watermelon.
Oh, I was going to say, man, what?
A walnut.
Like a walnut. Interesting. Walnut. Oh man, classic. Favorite vegetable?
Carrot.
A carrot.
Yeah.
You like carrots with hummus?
No.
Oh man,
Carrots
that's
with
my
ranch.
favorite. Carrots with ranch. There you go. Favorite season?
Summer, for sure. Hands down.
I'm right there with you. Do you own a sombrero?
I don't. Ooh.
You don't? So why the heck don't you?
I don't know. I feel like I should. I mean, Next time I go to Mexico, for sure I'll pick one out.
You better. All right, I'll hold you accountable to that. And I want a picture. I want you to send me an Instagram picture and say, "Hey, Danny Zavala, here's your sombrero."
Okay, for sure.
All right. What do you think about NASCAR?
It's cool.
Yeah. Vroom. All right. Do you like easy cheese?
Not a fan.
Not a fan? Easy cheese crackers? Oh, I'm missing out. Question of the day. If you were a caterpillar, where would you hang your cocoon?
On a branch.
On a branch.
On a sturdy branch.
It better be sturdy. You don't want that branch flinging off and all of a sudden your cocoon going somewhere.
Just be tragic.
I know, right? You want to turn into a butterfly. All right, guys. Well, Maddie, thanks again for participating in those 10 questions. Hopefully you got to know her just a little bit better. So Maddie is coming in from Utah. Like I mentioned before, she's a college basketball player playing for Wenatchee Valley College, current student, and she works at the Student Recreation Center. Today, we're going to hear her story, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. So, Maddie, you want to give everybody just a quick snippet about yourself, what you do, kind of your ins and outs, your hobbies?
Yeah. So, like Danny said, I live in Utah, and I love like hiking, camping, biking. I have a twin brother who's super fun. We've been competitive our whole life, so in sports.
You're a twin, so tell us a little bit about that. And if I remember right, you mentioned something about being like competitive with your twin. And how's that on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so I love being a twin. It's super fun. We're super competitive in everything we do growing up. But also like with that competitive, we're also like best friends. We do everything together. And it's awesome. We have so much in common, obviously. But also like we're like really different too, you know? So it's like a little bit of both. And
like a yin and yang combo.
Yeah, pretty much. It's awesome.
Heck yeah. And then the question is how did you get started within, this area of health and wellness, which is the topic is basketball, which is pretty freaking amazing. Not only did you travel out of state to come to Wenatchee Valley College, but you also brought your passion for the sport of basketball. How did that all start?
Yeah, so when I was little, like every other kid, I've kind of, my mom put me in soccer, softball. I even did dance at one point, So I was kind of just testing out the waters, and, I did basketball and I liked it. And, it was something that I was good at. And, it just kind of stuck. So, growing up, I just like went to camps and I just, did all the things. And when I was in high school, that's kind of when everything kind of like rocketed. And, I was super blessed to be able to play AAU. And, I had an awesome coach, and we traveled, out of state. And, it's cool because my club coach actually knew Coach Getz, and that's kind of how I got in contact with Coach Getz. Yeah, so that's kind of how everything came to be. I just, played it, loved it, stuck with it, practiced. It was awesome.
Yeah, and for those of you listening and don't know who Coach Getz is Rachel Getz. She is the women's basketball coach who Maddie played for, and she's making some amazing strides within that program. She's completely transformed it. She was 2018, 2019 division champs. This year, I'm sure they would have brought the trophy home. Maddie would have been holding that in her hands, but of course, 2019, there was different plans in sight. And one of the things she does talk about is within her program is shaping individuals to be a great person, a great student, and a great athlete. And, when I look at Maddie, I those things just come, they come out of you. Like, I'm truly like, you're one of the most sincere people I know. You always got to smile every single time you come to work. And I think one of the things that she's created when I look at not only just a women's basketball program, but just all the programs at Wenatchee Valley College and a lot of athletes too, is just creating good citizens. And I feel like you are that perfect image, Maddie. So props to you on that. Like, I'm really blessed to have you on this show. And I think you're just really genuine, and you're, a lot of people, the reason why I brought you on, a lot of people have trouble starting off with, playing college basketball. And not only that, but you left home. So I wanted to bring you on the show and just kind of highlight your story. Like, what does it mean for an out-of-state college basketball player to leave everything behind and then all of a sudden get thrown to this valley and you start a program, you don't know anybody besides a small connection of Rachel Getz. But before we get there, I don't want to jump too far ahead. I want to talk about like what kind of like molded and shaped you to like get you to where you are. Like what's your most vivid memory growing up as a kid that kind of like, man, you know what, I want to play basketball, or oh hey, I want to do this. Can you reflect on that?
Yeah. So when I was little, unfortunately my parents got a divorce. That was super hard. And my mom being a single parent, it was hard. And but she was awesome, and she was so supportive, and she supported my brother and I as well as my dad, but my mom really took the lead on it. And no matter what I wanted to do, she was like always behind me. And so to take that the burden of like money and college and all the stress that comes with that, I wanted to take my talent and my love for basketball and like go another level. And I knew that if I did, it would take a lot of burden off her. And so I just like wanted to make both my parents proud by, going to college and, being an athlete, being a student. And it's cool because like my twin brother's doing the same thing. He's going to a university in Utah for football. So I think we both just wanted to make both my parents proud. And yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And I'm sure they're super proud. It made me think of a quote. Like there will be so many times, and this is a quote coming from a mother. Let me just repeat that really quick. This was a quote for a mother. There will be so many times you feel like you failed, but in the eyes, ears, and mind of your children, you are always super mom. That's a quote by Stephanie Precourt. I feel like that quote kind of reflects both ways, because as much as you were influenced and motivated by your parents and your mom, okay, I'm sure they were motivated by you, looking at your desire, right? You waking up every day, you participating in the AAU, you having a long vision and a dream to be involved in something higher. Not everybody wants to be a college basketball player, which is really cool that you actually did it. So as much as she influenced you, I'm sure she could probably say the same thing about you and your brother, your twin brother, which are both sounds like he's doing amazing strides too, a football player going to university over in Utah. So thanks for sharing that. It's really cool. And this is like the bread and butter. A lot of people are probably thinking, man, I want to go play college ball, but what does it look like? A day in the life of Maddawg, aka which is supposed to be the other way around. What does it look like pre-COVID-19? You know, college is normal. You're going to practice. You're studying. What's a day to day?
We'd wake up at 5. We wake up at 6:30 for our workout class at 7, and we would go to our workout class, and then we would have class from 7 to probably about 11. So that was like, you know, your class time, you're in class, you're in with the teacher. And then, you know, depending on like what your schedule looks like, you'd probably have a break here and there. So, and then after, you know, your classes, you try and get like food before practice, because it's always important to eat for a big workout, especially protein, you know.
You gotta feel it, right?
Yeah. So you'd always like want to pack something, or, you know, go and grab something. So after you like get some food, you would go to the gym and get ready for practice. And, you know, we like warm up, you'd get treatment with, you know, whatever you needed. And then, you know, we'd start practice probably right at noon, 12:15, we'd start warming up. And then 12:30, we started. We'd have super hard practice from 12:30 to about 3. And, man, some days were harder than others, but, you know,
sure.
it was okay. Yeah. So, you know, after practice, you know, you would get treatment, or, you know, whatever you needed with the trainer there. And then so our coach would always have us do library hours, because, you know, it's always important to study and put your studies first. And that's what I love most about Coach Getz, is she always put school first and then basketball, you know. So then we would always have library hours that we'd have to accomplish every week. And then after, sometimes I'd always like want to run home, grab a shower, get some food, because I'd have to work sometimes. I'd have to work at the rec center.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, so, I mean, sometimes I'd grab some food, go to the rec center. And it was super fun, because it's like, it wasn't like I was, like, going to work. It kind of felt like I was going to see my friends, going to the rec center, working, cleaning. You know, it's super fun.
We like to have some fun over at the student rec center, right?
Yeah, so much fun. Yeah. You know, so then I'd work, and then I'd get off about 9, and then I'd go home, hang out with the roommates. And that was kind of like me time, you know. We hung out together, watched TV together, did other things. It was super fun. And then
that's
just
amazing.
do it all over again.
Let me just, I'm just going to say something really quick. For those of you looking for a vacation, or for like that college experience where it's just like you see in the movies, probably being a college athlete might not fit into that picture. She is busy from 7 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. Okay, not only going to practice first thing in the morning, full workload of school. Okay, practice, getting treatment, finding a time to do some homework in between there, working anywhere from 3 to 4 hours on top of that, and then she still hangs out with her friends. Oh man, I don't even think I work that hard, Maddie. That's props. So that's what a day in the life is, and I just think it's amazing hearing your story, just because there's thousands of athletes across the country, and you know, a lot of you are making that same sacrifice. And to a lot of individuals listening to this, they don't know what it takes. And it sounds like there's a lot of grind that goes involved in that.
Yeah, doesn't stop.
Man, that's some cool stuff. So we talked about the day in life, and this is kind of like the fun moments. Well, I wouldn't say this is necessarily fun. Nobody wants to talk about the setbacks, but with every glory story, you know, you obviously have setbacks within health and wellness. It's inevitable. They're going to happen. What is something that set you back in your basketball career along the journey? And did you end up recovering? And like, what advice can you give to people?
Yeah, so in high school, I was super blessed. I didn't have any injuries. You know, the worst I had was a jammed finger, you know, nothing. But in college, we were about almost done with our preseason, so December. So December is kind of like our traveling month. We were, you know, going to tournaments and, this and that. And I got a really bad hamstring injury, and it was super hard. I was out for almost a month, and it was super hard. And just sitting on the sideline, no one wants to sit on the sideline and watch your team practice. No one wants to sit there and watch your team run while you're watching them. Like, no one wants that. And it was hard, and recovery was hard, and going to the rehab, I was going to chiropractor. It was super hard, and at times I was like, it's like worth it. Like, I'm not playing. Like, I'm falling behind. I'm falling behind in what we're learning. I'm falling behind in my conditioning
at 5,
and like skills.
No,
it was super hard.
Yeah. We wake up at
6:30 for our workout class at 7, and we would go to our workout class, and then we would have class from 7 to probably about 11. So that was like, your class time. You're in class. You're in with the teacher, and then depending on like what your schedule looks like, you'd probably have a break here and there. So, and then after your classes, you try and get like food before practice, because it's always important to eat for a big workout, especially protein.
Yeah, you gotta feel it, right?
Yeah, so you'd always like want to pack something, or go and grab some. So after you like get some food, you would go to the gym and get ready for practice, and we like warm up, you'd get treatment, what was whatever you needed, and then we'd start practice probably right at noon. 12:15 we'd start warming up, and then 12:30 we started. We'd have super hard practice from 12:30 to about 3, and man, some days were harder than others, but
I'm sure.
it was great. Yeah, so after practice, you would get treatment, or whatever you needed with the trainer there, and then so our coach would always have us do library hours, because it's always important to study and put your studies first. And that's what I love most about Coach Getz, is she always put school first and then basketball, so then we would always have library hours so that we'd have to accomplish every week. And then after, sometimes I'd always like want to run home, grab a shower, get some food, because I'd have to work. Sometimes I'd have to work at the rec center.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so sometimes I'd grab some food, go to the rec center, and it was super fun. So it's like it wasn't like I was like going to work. It kind of felt like I was going to see my friends, going to the rec center, working, cleaning. It's super fun.
We like to have some fun over at the student rec center, right?
Yeah, so much fun. Yeah, so then I'd work, and then I'd get off about 9, and then I'd go home, hang out with the roommates, and that was kind of like me time. We hung out together, watched TV together, did other things. It was super fun. And then
that's
just
amazing.
do it all over again.
Let me just but I'm just going to say something really quick. For those of you looking for a vacation, or for like that college experience where it's just like you see in the movies, probably being a college athlete might not fit into that picture. She is busy from 7 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. Okay, not only going to practice first thing in the morning, full workload of school, okay, practice, getting treatment, finding a time to do some homework in between there, working anywhere from 3 to 4 hours on top of that, and then she still hangs out with her friends. Oh man, I don't even think I work that hard, Maddie. That's props. So that's what a day in the life is, and I just think it's amazing hearing your story, just because there's thousands of athletes across the country, and a lot of you are making that same sacrifice. And to a lot of individuals listening to this, they don't know what it takes. And it sounds like there's a lot of grind that goes involved in that.
Yeah, doesn't stop.
Man, that's some cool stuff. So we talked about the day in life, and this is kind of like the fun moments. Well, I wouldn't say this is necessarily fun. Nobody wants to talk about the setbacks, but with every glory story, you obviously have setbacks within health and wellness. It's inevitable. They're going to happen. What is something that set you back in your basketball career along the journey? And did you end up recovering? And what advice can you give to people?
Yeah, so in high school, I was super blessed. I didn't have any injuries. The worst I had was a jammed finger, nothing. But in college, we were about almost done with our preseason, so December. So December is kind of like our traveling month. We were, going to tournaments and this and that. And I got a really bad hamstring injury, and it was super hard. I was out for almost a month, and it was super hard. And just sitting on the sideline. No one wants to sit on the sideline and watch your team practice. No one wants to sit there and watch your team run while you're watching them. Like, no one wants that. And it was hard, and recovery was hard. And going to the rehab, I was going to chiropractor. It was super hard. And at times I was like, it's like worth it. Like, I'm not playing. Like, I'm falling behind. I'm falling behind for Christmas break, and that was kind of like a big chunk of my recovery. But I think the best advice I would give is, and then like when I came back, I was stronger than ever. But the advice I would give is work hard in everything you do. Work hard in your treatment. Work hard at getting back, and then work even harder when you are back, because essentially, like, I did fall behind, but I feel like I worked super hard to get back to where I was. And it wasn't easy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was easy. It wasn't. It was super hard. There were a couple tears shed, but I think that's kind of what made me stronger, and just working hard in everything you do and showing your coach that you do care and you do want to get back, and showing your team that too.
Man, that's awesome. I think you nailed it on the spot too. So you talked about your setback with your hamstring, and the way that you were able to recover is by working hard. But then a lot of it was a treatment aspect. And, coming as a strength conditioning specialist, I've been an athlete myself, didn't make it quite as far as you, Maddie, but I know, treatment is key. It's crucial, and it's nonstop. Not only do you have to go attend practice, you have to go in early, go in the training rooms, make sure you get the proper treatment, just to make sure that you speed up your recovery. And a lot of the times with hamstrings too, it's such a power muscle, and it's so vulnerable that sometimes recovery can last a very, very long time. So the fact that you bounce back is pretty amazing. And so with that, with every setback comes an accomplishment. And when you recovered, like, what is like one accomplishment that kind of like, oh man, this was perfect. I was like floating. I was on cloud nine. Do you have a specific accomplishment that kind of shaped you just currently, and like, was it influenced by anyone?
Honestly, my biggest accomplishment was just seeing the floor and just being able to play, with your best friends, because your teammates are your best friends, and to be able to play with them day in and day out, I think that was my biggest accomplishment. And I feel like I really took that for granted when I wasn't playing. And so I think my biggest accomplishment was just being on the floor, and just being able to sprint the floor and be able to get that rebound. I think that was my biggest accomplishment, and just being a good teammate. And I think that was probably the highlight of it all.
And I'm sure your teammates can say the exact same thing. And I feel like when you have the chemistry, when you're part of a strong team, and you guys have all the same goals and you have the same vision, and the values that you carry is synchronized amongst the entire individual, not only just the four on the floor, but the coach and all the people on the bench. Because a lot of the times the people on the bench too are the ones that push the individuals that are on the floor, the ones that same time. And I think that's super important. I'm glad you touched base on that, just because a lot of people forget about the joy of just enjoying the grind, just pushing yourself and being basically, I think you nailed it perfect. This is just altering your words a little bit, but it sounds like you were blessed just to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Every day.
A lot of people fight for, oh man, that was so amazing because I hate this game winner. But to truly sit back and reflect on your biggest accomplishment and just saying, hey man, I'm blessed every single day to be here in Wenatchee, away from my family, and I get to play basketball, and I get to go to school, and I'm having fun doing that, and I just care about my mates, and that's fun. So man, that's super cool. That motivates me, and I'm happy that you have that outlook in life. And my last question for you, and we'll kind of wrap this up, Maddie. Let you get back to day-to-day in Utah. But what motivates you day after day? A lot of people kind of lose motivation, especially during these tough times. We're all at home. You're back in Utah. I'm over here in Wenatchee. You're away from your teammates. What's that motivational factor? What's that itch? What keeps that fire burning?
Yeah, so I feel like I kind of touched on it before, but I think my biggest motivation is just being the best person I can be, and pushing myself in whatever it be, like workouts, family, being the best daughter, friend, I can be, and just being the best person. And I just feel like, because I love helping people, I love serving people, and I feel like if you're at your highest level and that you can be, then it's going to be hard to help other people achieve what their highest potential is. So my biggest motivation is, keeping on top of my fitness, my eating, everything, and, just being the best person, that's everything I can be in life.
Oh, man, that's awesome. And it's special too, because I know you and I've seen the work that you put in, and you being the best version of you. And this is me speaking just truly from me knowing you, is that after that long day of basketball, school, and everything in your day-to-day, you still came to the rec center from that night shift, 6 to 9 p.m. with a smile on your face, being the best version of you. So I truly believe that when you say, and it's, again, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. I know it does take a little bit of guts to, come out and tell your story, but hopefully you can influence others by telling people just a little bit about you, your journey, and what a day looks like in an athlete. And I'm just going to add one thing, and it's self-discipline. For those of you that are listening, I wanted to tie this in with Maddie, just because I feel like self-discipline is key. And obviously she's expressed this in so many different ways, on and off the court, being the best version she could be. And I feel like she was influenced by sports greatly. And I think sports really shows accountability, discipline, work ethic, teamwork, social networking, which is huge. And the most important thing is practice. I feel like a lot of people forget about practice. And I feel like, Maddie, you could probably say practice was the primary factor that influenced your game.
Oh, yeah.
Going to the treatment every day, which is practice, brought you back.
Yeah.
Studying brought you back. And again, it's that repetitive compound practice, whether that's in a relationship, your profession, health and wellness, whether that's in sports, whatever it may be. You have to continuously practice the art with no end destination. There's milestones, but there's no end destination. And I think that's amazing. And I feel like you're a true definition of self-discipline, Maddie. So thanks again. And what advice, this is my last question, I swear. I'll leave you alone.
No, you're good.
What advice can you give to anyone looking to play college ball?
Do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just go. Literally.
Thanks again for joining, everyone. This is Danny Zavala, your host on the Rec Center Podcast, the hottest podcast here in Central Washington, bringing you amazing individuals doing amazing things within health and wellness. We are here every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to like, share, or comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and let's have some fun, baby.